If Brock misses 3 games, I think Mac can win 1 or 2 of them. If CMC misses 3 games, I think they can win 1 or 2. If Trent Williams misses 3 games, I think they lose all 3. I literally do not think they can win 1 of those games. Trent Williams is the most important 49er on offense by a mile. And I truly believe that if he misses some time, we're in major trouble. Last week I said, I think CMC is the most important Niner, right? Because of what he does for them in the red zone, dual threat, how important he is, the drop-off behind him for Patrick Taylor Jr., who's your number 2. Like, I think it's a precipitous drop.
Well, Garendo's probably your number 2, but he can't stay healthy.
I have zero faith in him to stay healthy.
They want him to be their number 2. We'll put it that way. But I don't know if he can stay healthy.
I'd like a house in Florence. I don't know if that's going to work out for me. So I say to myself, okay, I watched that preseason game, and there's not a lot to take away for some of the most impactful spots on the team. But one of them is swing tackle. Trent missed some games last year. He missed some games the year before that. If Trent goes down, we are done. D-O-N-E. And the reason why I say that is because the drop-off from Trent to Spencer Burford, who is right now one of their swing tackles, the Grand Canyon thinks that's a big drop-off. All right? It is so bad. Spencer Burford was a mediocre as being nice guard, and now they have him at tackle, and he's getting thrown around and spun by like a rag doll. And I say to myself, all right, again, don't get triggered by this, Niner fans. If Brock misses 3 games, I think Mac can win 1 or 2 of them because I think Mac is serviceable.
And keep the team afloat is what you're saying.
Not as good as Brock, but he's serviceable, all right? He's serviceable.
Wow, dude.
If CMC misses 3 games, I think they can win 1 or 2 because of Kyle's play calling and the other playmakers around him offsetting his absence. If Trent Williams misses 3 games, I think they lose all 3 because of how poor the drop-off is from Trent to Spencer Burford. I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm really not. Watch the game. Mac Jones had no time to throw once. I keep calling him Batonio, but Bonitto.
Nick Bonitto, second team All-Pro last year.
He went around him 4 or 5 different ways effortlessly each time. They are almost a non-functional offense without Trent Williams. That's how bad it was. And so now I'm retconning my own opinion from a week or 2 ago. I'm saying no. I was wrong. It's not CMC. It's not. Trent Williams is the most important 49er on offense by a mile. By a mile. And I truly believe that if he misses some time, we're in major trouble. They have not drafted a tackle properly to be a even serviceable swing guy.
Well, they just don't draft tackles, period.
When was the last time they drafted one?
The last tackle, I will find this for you. The last tackle the 49ers drafted. Not this year. Last year they drafted Dominic Pooney. He's a guard. They drafted Jarrett Kingston in the 6th round, who they then cut. He didn't make the team. He was a guard anyway, but even if he was a tackle, I'm not really counting that because he didn't make the team.
Is it Jalen Moore?
They did not draft any offensive linemen in 2023. They drafted Spencer Burford in 2022, who they're trying to make
he was a guard,
a tackle, but he's a guard. They also drafted Nick Zakelj in 2022. He's not a tackle. 2021, Aaron Banks in the 2nd round. He's a guard. Jalen Moore, 5th round in 2021, tackle was the last tackle they drafted.
Almost 5 years ago. Look, I
that makes no sense to me.
I can't believe how much they've devalued that position. And you saw a couple of plays where it's like, Kyle, stop blocking the best edge rusher on the other team with the backup tight end. He did it with Luke Farrell coming across the formation, and he got blown by. And I'm saying to myself, he has got to prioritize tackle for this team after this year. It has got to be something that they invest in.
We've been saying that for 3 straight years, and it hasn't happened.
I know.
Kyle Shanahan post-game, there was a series where Nick Bonitto, the 2nd team All-Pro for the Broncos, got to the quarterback 3 straight plays. He ruined the drive by himself.
Exactly.
The first one was the Luke Farrell chip block. The other 2 were on Burford. Here's Shanahan on that series specifically and what Nick Bonitto did, and he'll talk about Burford here. Here's Shanahan post-game.
I mean, he did ruin that whole series. One was on our tight end going across the formation. He just played past all the way, so that wasn't on a tackle. But it was 3 plays in a row. The next 2 plays, we went on the quick counter, were lined up wrong, so he was able to jump the snap. So I thought that was a little tough for Spence. And then on the 3rd down, we had a bust by a player who was supposed to be outside presence on him. Spence was expecting a chip, so he just sitting there inside out, and there was no guy there. So Bonitto's a hell of a player, so we knew that would be a challenge. But I thought those 3 plays in a row were a little unfair to Spence.
So Shanahan saying nothing to see here. It was not Spencer Burford's fault. He's actually a quality backup left tackle. Gotcha. That's what he's saying.
How about the whole aspect of Shanahan? This is how Brock got hurt in that NFC Championship game, was trying to have a guy come across the formation as a backup tight end.
Block a really good edge rusher.
Yeah, he said, well, he read pass all the way. Kyle, that is how you got your quarterback messed up, right? And you saw it in this one. They were lucky Mac recognized that he was going to get blasted, or else he could have gotten his back snapped in half. Throw that whole sequence, whatever that scheme is that you're doing there, where you think it's cool to have your tight end come across the formation and try to stay with one of the best edge rushers on the other team. Scrap that. That doesn't work. I don't know why he continues to go back to that.
So is Shasky crazy for thinking Trent Williams is the most important, most valuable Niner?
Do you agree with me on this, or where are you at?
It's really difficult for me to ever say anybody other than the quarterback, but I know where you're coming from.
I want to make it clear.
I'm not saying that you are saying Brock is bad. I know you're not saying that. Or am I
saying that Mac is somewhere close to Brock? He's not. There's Mac is the backup. Brock is your dude. You paid him $50 million for a reason.
Obviously, of
He's
course.
really good. He can move, and he can do so many different things. What I'm saying is that if Brock missed a couple games, because the backup's decent and because the quarterback and the infrastructure, I think they could win 1 or 2 of those 3 games. I don't think they can win 1 if Trent Williams misses 3. I literally do not think they can win 1 of those games.
I see where you're coming from, and what you're saying says more about the 3 other guys than it does about Brock. Like what you're saying, exactly. Trent is awesome.
Yes.
And when he's playing, he's 37, but when he's playing, he's still awesome.
Exactly.
You're saying Burford as a backup left tackle is a terrible idea, and you're saying Mac Jones is serviceable. You're not talking about Brock at all.
At all. But I know how things get interpreted and people lose their minds. It's me elevating Trent and also understanding how poor your backup options are. Who else outside of Burford are they even going to try?
At left tackle?
At any tackle. What if McGlinchey misses time?
Well, McGlinchey's now a Bronco. McKivitz.
Colton McKivitz.
You've got Austin Pleasance as essentially your backup right tackle. He also was not
Austin
very
unpleasant.
He was also not very good.
Take my 4 on that one.
I mean, what is so scary about this offensive line is it has me and I think other Niner fans being like, "Oh my God, Colton McKivitz better not get hurt."
I know.
And it's not because I think Colton McKivitz is like this really good right tackle, although ask Kyle Shanahan, he'll tell you, watch the tape. McKivitz is a quality right tackle. He'll say the same thing about Jake Brendel at center as well. And are they average? Maybe they're around there. Are they one of the 10 best at their position in the league? No, not close in my opinion. I feel that way about those guys, not because, again, that I think they're anything special, but because they have nothing behind them. Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing. And if we're talking about the biggest mistakes the Niners have made over the last handful of years getting to this moment, I think for me it's how they handled the offensive line as a whole. I mean, them letting Jalen Moore go to the Chiefs for however much money that was when he'd only been a swing tackle for you, I didn't feel comfortable paying Jalen Moore that much.
I didn't either.
Clearly the Niners did not as well. Same thing for Aaron Banks to the Packers. They're paying him a ton of money. They're paying him like top 5 offensive guard money.
He's not worth that.
He's not that.
$19 million a year.
Not worth that. No. So those decisions in a vacuum, I am perfectly fine with them. But you know what, Kyle? You know what, John? You knew that was coming for years. You knew when Aaron Banks hit free agency, you likely were not going to be able to match that money or feel comfortable doing it. You were going to let him walk. So how do you plan for a moment like that? You get the replacement ready. And maybe Ben Bartch is going to be great. This really has nothing to do with Ben Bartch, and more it's the overall philosophy that this team refuses year after year after year to address their offensive line in the draft. And really that's the only way that generally that you improve your offensive line. Like they got Trent Williams. That was a freaking steal, acquiring him from the worst run organization in the NFL. That does not happen all of the time. If you have an all-pro level offensive lineman, they don't hit free agency. They never hit free agency. You can't just go out and sign a stud, generally.
No.
You're going to sign an Alex Mack, an old aging center who was an all-pro, but he's in the final years of his career. Was he okay for you? Yeah, sure. But you're paying top dollar for a guy that is in the final legs of his career. The only way you can consistently get a good offensive line is if you're addressing that every year in the draft, and they have just flat out refused to do it. And they'll tell you, well, in the third round, we had this grade on this receiver, and we wanted him because we thought it was a better value for that pick. Yeah, we had this offensive lineman a little bit later, but we didn't think it was worth it at that. I don't care. Your offensive line is the biggest hole on this team, and you're getting to a point where you might be right. If one of your guys, who's 37 years old, misses any meaningful time this season, your season might be done.
Yeah.
That is the hole that they've dug themselves.